I ain't know how to count it. Ain't no rats up in my circle, I don't know how you allow it. And you gon' read just what you sow it, and ain't no way around it, yeah. From the cradle to the grave, yeah, we done came far. If you look at where we came from, you know we need it all. Got all my brothers and my sisters, they depending on me. So I don't come around none of you niggas that be acting funny. And if you don't know nothing about me, know I'm about the money. I say you don't know nothing about me, know I'm about the money. Paid up the lawyer, hope he free them niggas vouching for me.
Came a long way from Daddy of the Year. We back. I got another special guest with me. I'm gonna let him introduce himself. It's the man, the myth, the legend. Superman himself. No kryptonite.
No, it's some kryptonite. But yo, what's going down? My name at government is Vernon Dright. I come from Chicago, been living in Minnesota for, close to over 30 years now. Actually, right now it is 30, haha.
Yeah,
it's 30 years now. Okay. Yeah, I've been here for 30 years, but
95, huh?
Yeah, when I first got up here. But everyone knows me through the streets of St. Paul and from the playgrounds, some of the basketball courts, football fields, and baseball diamonds. Know me as Coach Teddy.
Oh yeah. I'm a round of applause that for you. Let me start off with this. So I've been knowing Coach Teddy for majority of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, knowing of him or familiar with him majority of my life. I think I met you when I was maybe 8 years old, 7, somewhere around there. I was definitely still peeing in the bed. Like, for sure came to practice smelling foul a couple times. But I want to start off by just saying Frogtown is like the earliest memory for me in Minnesota, you know what I mean? And one of the biggest like movements, faces, people I can mention in the Frogtown neighborhood is this man right here, Vernon Teddy. What's your last name?
Dright.
I just know him as Coach Teddy, so we gonna be Coach Teddy.
Just Coach Teddy
for the rest of the interview.
Just Coach Teddy. Even though I've kind of retired from coaching, still to this day, when people hear my government name, they be like, "Nah, that ain't no, that's Coach Teddy, right?"
Right.
So,
Vernon sounds too much like Johnson, Coach.
Right. Yeah. So
we already got a Coach Vernon, man. We got. Okay, so I do want to start off with so growing up, you say you're from Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
How was your family dynamic, like brothers, sisters?
I grew up. I had 3 older sisters. I was the baby of the family. Halfway spoiled because I only got spoiled by my older sister and my youngest sister.
Okay.
I didn't see my middle sister too much. She moved out while I was young and went to California. But I grew up in a 2-parent household pretty much till I was graduated from junior high. But I would say I was really truly blessed that even though through a divorce, that my dad was always still in my life. He never, abandoned me or anything like that. He used to come pick me up every morning and drive me to school just to make sure I got to school. My freshman and sophomore year. He would literally drive me to school.
That's what's up. Black Dads Matter. That's big. What is your favorite memory from childhood? Maybe with, just in general. We ain't gonna go specific with mom or dad, but like, what's the main thing that pop out?
Just our family togetherness. I had an auntie that I really loved dearly. She lived down in Huntsville, Alabama. She used to come. I had another auntie that lived in Cleveland. She would come to Chicago. But whenever there was a family function, birthday, barbecue, it didn't matter, whatever, we had a good time as a family. So we always had family togetherness. I remember getting on the bus. We had a bus in Chicago that would go out to the south suburbs, and that's where a majority of my family lived at, out in the south suburbs of Chicago. And we would get on the bus and ride all the way out there just to go kick it with them for a whole weekend. So That was probably the joy of it. You know, none of as a family, we just never really abandoned each other.
Yeah.
You know, as a family.
Like some real tight knit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Until we got older.
Okay.
It changed when we got
Everybody
older.
get their own family.
Yeah, everybody get their own family, own values, own ways of living and stuff like that. But growing up as a kid, that was fun. You know?
Okay.
And even on my block where I grew up at, the people I grew up with, we were even though we were all friends, but we was like brothers and sisters and stuff. You know, we fought for each other. We had to fight other blocks. We fought other blocks. We didn't care.
Y'all started this barbecue shit.
Right. So, we was cool, and a lot of those friendships that I developed, back then as a youth, they're still prevalent today.
Yeah, 50, 20,
60,
30.
Well, 50 years later, they're
That's
still
what's up.
prevalent today.
That's what's up. Growing up in your community, you would say that like having strong ties in that community and a good reputation was something that's big growing up for you.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Likewise too. I'm from Chicago, but I was raised in Minnesota like my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I really got literally barely any memories of growing up there.
Okay.
So, but still, like I said, because my parents are born in the city of Chicago and raised there, south side as well. Some of the more core morals were still the same. They just preached on, you are your brother's keeper.
Yeah.
Your sister's protector. What goes on in the house, stay only in the house. You know what I'm saying? That way, any problems that do get out, it ain't because of you, or it ain't even gonna be as accurate as what they saying. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time when I was a kid, and I love you, Mom, but my little brother stole some money from her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we because you know what I'm saying, what goes on in the house, stay in the house. Nobody was really supposed to say nothing outside, but we was all in trouble, everybody in the house. And we was so in trouble that we couldn't go outside. It's the summertime about to come up, it's school about to be out, we can't go outside. And we know who got the money. He ain't spent it. We 6, 7 years old. He ain't spent it. He just got it. He just wanted it so bad. He got the money. Right, he kept that money for like 6 months.
Kept y'all in the house that long?
Man, we wouldn't go. We stayed in the house for a whole summer.
Man,
over $100. I love you, Mama.
I've been beating his ass every day.
She ain't know.
No,
she didn't.
Look, and brothers and sisters, give up the money so we can go outside.
You know what's crazy? I think maybe I was the only person that knew. I was one of them like inspector guys. Still to this day, I'm like, I like to dig. I ain't gonna go in your stuff, but I like to like ask personal questions. That's why I'm doing this pod. You know what I mean? So like, I'm asking him stuff. 5-year-olds, he ain't as smart as a 6-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I figured out it was in his backpack, like in school. He just got it sitting in there, posted up. Think we go to the store every day. The $100 in there, though. Like,
wouldn't spend it.
Well, he knew he was gonna get in trouble. Even worse if it was gone. Cause after it blew up like that, he like, oh man, if I spend it, it's gonna be,
hell to pay for that.
Facts. So it's just like similar morality and understanding that I kind of came up with in a different era. So like it's real dope how those type of things blend. You got kids, right?
Yes.
Boys, girls.
I have boys and girls, and that's through my own and through marriage, with my former marriage.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember I met your oldest son. I can't remember his name. It's been a while. Anthony.
Mm-hmm.
There we go. And that is your oldest boy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a kicker on the team. I remember he was the first black dude I ever seen. Didn't he go to college, right?
Yep. He graduated from St. Olaf.
First black dude I've ever seen go university.
Yep.
Go to a university. Did he get a scholarship?
He was playing D3, and it wasn't much of a scholarship.
Technically a scholarship, but I know he got some money to go, and it was it blew my mind. I was maybe like 7th, 6th grade when I heard that, and it was impressive to me because his dad is a dude that I see in the neighborhood, and like I said, I didn't have a really good relationship with my dad growing up. I really didn't know him very well.
Oh, well, wait a minute. You talking about Dante? Dante wasn't the oldest. Dante was my youngest.
Dante was your youngest boy?
Yeah.
Okay.
My oldest boy, he went to St. Olaf.
St. Olaf. Where did Dante go?
He did, I think, just a year up at St. Cloud State. He went there.
St. Cloud. But he was the kicker, or they
Yeah,
both
he
kicked?
did. No, it was Dante. He did. He tried kicking one time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, he was pretty good. And
Yeah.
I mean, he was older than me, so anything he did was better than me. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, he was kicking when he was playing for Jimmy Lee.
there we go. I remember.
When I had him down there. Well, I sent him down there to Jimmy Lee because he started with me at Frogtown.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, what is the thing about you? Like, okay, so I had Coach Dave, and he had a thing about not wanting to coach his son, so he sent him to play with other coaches.
Yeah.
Was that a thing?
With no, what it was with me. I remember when he wanted to play football. He just kind of came to me and he said, "Dad, I want to play football." And I went to go ask somebody that I knew, like, where did they go? Where did they do football at? You know, here. And I was told Jimmy Lee.
You wasn't coaching at the time?
I wasn't coaching. No,
Oh, that's why you
coaching.
sent him over there. Okay.
No. Well, let me give you the rest of the story.
Yeah.
So I go down to Jimmy Lee to sign him up, and this was probably mid-July, and already the whole roster was full.
Wow.
You know, and they was like, "Oh, our roster is full. We'd have no more, so you have to go to either." Asked where I lived at. I told them where I lived at, and they said, "Well, you have to go to either North area or Frogtown and stuff." So I remember driving by North area, and I looked, no. So I just went up to Frogtown, and I signed him up there. Spots open. I signed him up, and that's when John Robinson was coaching there at the time.
Angels.
Yep, Angels.
Okay,
Day,
gotcha.
So I, took him there, and and me trying to be a concerned dad, just wanted to be out there for my son. So every time he went to practice, I went to practice.
Right.
And I just noticed at the time it was John, and he had one other assistant working with them. And he had about 22, 23 kids out there and stuff. And, I was like, man, I played a little football. I played youth, played high school, played a year junior college. And just went over there and just asked, "You need some help?" And you're like, "Man, of course I need some help."
That definitely sounds like John too.
Of course I need some help, So,
he's hilarious,
Yeah,
one of the funniest dudes.
Yeah, so that's how I got into coaching.
Okay. So back to you did coach your son for a year.
Yeah, I coached him that year.
Okay.
So what led me to send him away was being at the banquet.
What happened?
Well, we at the banquet, and I had seen the older coaches, trying to think of Johnny Howard. Yeah, Johnny Howard was coaching 14U at the time. Tom was there coaching 12U, but they had another guy there. I don't know, can't remember his name or anything like that. But I guess they came and seen us play one day and seen my son, because my son was the running back. And he was like, "Oh yeah, your son's the running back, and I can't wait to get him, and we're gonna do this and we're gonna do that." And he pulled out his playbook, and I couldn't do nothing but laugh, because I'm like, this is 11U football, and this dude, 12U football, and this dude pulled out a book, said, "This is my playbook," and it was about this damn thick, and I'm like, hold up, dude, this is a pro ain't even got that thick of a play. You got that thick of a playbook, and man,
I think Jalen Hurts got 12 plays that he remembers.
Right. So I was like, I don't know, and me and somebody else was talking about it, and they was like, "Man, you don't want to send him down there, so where can I take him to? Where can I take him to?" And they was like, "Man, take him to Jimmy Lee." So I took my son to go play for Dusty, legendary coach down at Jimmy Lee. I've known when I sent my son down there, I formed a relationship with Dusty. He was very good and inspirational to me when I started, and I was given the reins to start coaching at Frogtown, as a head coach. I always refer back to Dusty and John Robinson. Those were my, influence of who taught me how to coach and deal with, young men and women, because, we always had girls playing on our team too.
Do you remember the young lady that was on the 3rd grade, 4th grade team back when we was at Shefford?
Most likely I do.
Like the name, do you remember?
No, I don't remember the name. It's just some of them I can remember, some of them I can't, but I just know that they played.
She's the only girl I ever been afraid of.
Well, listen,
I have nightmares.
Well, listen, we had one girl down there. Oh man, this girl was so tough, man. She used to whoop Leon 'Cause on the end,
Lockhart?
Yeah. She used to whoop him like.
But me and Leon the same age. That might be the same girl. That is crazy.
Man, she used to put a whooping up. I think just Leon was more like, oh, she a girl. I just don't want to hit her. Like, I don't know. But, man, she used to get busy on that edge right there. So, but, yeah, we did have some young ladies that played.
Okay. Let's get a little bit into your coaching dynamic, like, thoroughly. So you started out coaching.
Yeah, it was 98.
Okay.
That first year and stuff. So 98, I did a stint from 98 till about 2007. I think it was 2007. My first stint. And I took it as a coach.
Okay.
And then I took a year off, a year break. There was some things going on down in Frogtown, a lot dealing with the city, some issues with the city was going on and stuff, and wanting to kind of take over and have control of the program, and it brought John Robinson back. And I just remember driving by there one day because I did the year that I took off, I was still involved with youth sports. I was refereeing also. So
I remember that part. You was refereeing basketball a lot.
Yeah, about doing my basketball. But the year that I took off from coaching, I ended up doing football too. So I was doing some youth games. I was doing some high school games and stuff. And I just remember driving by one day and I was just kind of shocked because I see, of all people, I see John out there again and stuff, and it just kind of like brought back that old memory of like, man, it's just like before, let me get out and talk. And I never lost my zeal for wanting to coach because I've always loved just giving back to the youth in the community, of Frogtown, because, when I was there my first 2 years, we didn't really have a lot of kids my first 2 years of coaching at Frogtown. We had enough to field a team, but it was always a second, we had like second graders, third graders, fourth graders, playing for us and stuff. And when John got transferred out to another rec center, I guess the park district rule back then was you couldn't be at one rec center and coach at another one,
right?
Something like that. So he left, and the director came to me. I just happened to came down there one day to ask because I know I had to go get certified for coaching and stuff. And her name was Patty Schwartz. She asked me did I want to take over the program, and I was like, huh?
How did you go about hiring coaches? I remember Coach Mike.
Yeah, Coach Mike.
I remember Coach Dave, obviously.
Dave,
Raheem. Coach Rudy, for sure.
Yeah, so, and listen, I knew, a lot of them we just knew.
We can't forget Coach Jet.
Oh, Jason. Yeah, same thing, yeah.
Coach Jason.
Just, same thing. Some of them I knew. I knew Rudy because me and Rudy lived in the same building.
Gotcha.
So that wasn't nothing but just go, look, dude, man, about to start, coaching football. And he told me that he played football, that he was a standout at Highland. And, everybody else would just kind of, we met because we interacted with each other and stuff. So I just had conversations with them to see if they was interested in coming and helping.
Right.
And so Jason, how I ended up getting, how Jason came aboard, Jason's little brother was playing for me at the time, and I know all of y'all know Jordan Jet.
Shout out Jet.
One of the greatest, probably one of my greatest kids that's come out of our program, at Frogtown. And his little brother was playing, so that next year I went to Jason too, and said the same thing, dude, man, come on and help, man, and he was down with coming to help. And I remember the first day of practice that we had at Chef, I think it was like right after August, that first Monday in early August that we can have, and we was all sitting right there by the old dugout, and where the baseball field used to be at.
Yeah.
And we sitting there and we was looking, and it was just amazing to see so many parents pulling up with carloads full of kids. And they all getting out, and we get them all lined up, and we sent them on that first run around the fence.
It looked like so
and
much.
We sat there and started counting, and we was like, hold up, damn,
I remember specifically my first year playing. I came in '98, or no, I came '99. I played '98 with Jimmy Lee. It was so many kids on the team that y'all almost had tryouts for youth football. It was crazy. It wasn't like the bad team kids didn't make it. It was like A team, B team, C team. We had like three teams on one field sharing space.
Yeah,
it was ridiculous.
At one point, we got to thinking about how many teams we was gonna have, and then we had to have a sit down and talk about it, and then we started after everybody filled out their registration forms. We started looking at it because then we was like, man, listen, the way this is looking, we can have a 3rd grade team and a 4th grade team, and stuff.
And a second grade team.
Well, no, that was the fun before the city wrecked it, because we could throw the second graders. We used to throw the second graders on the third grade team, and heck, even a few first graders. Now listen, we had some little first grade kids that used to live directly across the street from Shepherd and stuff. I think one of them, what was it? I can't think. It was the Carpenters. It was a carpenter. The family was Carpenters, the last name.
Okay.
But they lived across the street. The whole family came down there and played. They had one little. He went about like this tall in 1st grade and stuff. He put that helmet on his head. He'll start running. It may start right here. It ended up it fit on his head. And
I remember my first year playing. I was 5. But my dad was the coach at Jimmy Lee with Dusty and Limo.
Okay.
Shout out Limo too. And my stepdad was encouraging us to get out there and be physical. And the boys was way bigger than me, but I actually ended up playing my first year playing. Like, they put me on the defensive end, and I think I just had so much energy that it was like, do something. I remember specifically we played a team that was like, I called them. You ever seen Friday Night Lights? They was Permian for sure. They was like the red team, everybody bigger, faster, stronger. We played 2 teams like that. LES was the first team I ever played like that. They played over and across. They were like a traveling football team at the time. So like they didn't have a weight limit for their running backs.
Okay.
They could have whatever size running back. And I remember one of their running backs was close to like 150. In like the 3rd grade.
Big kid. Yeah,
big kid. He was just big jelly roll. He wasn't even fast, but he was running. I've never been so intimidated in my life. And then we played Powderhorn.
Okay.
Same type of thing. Minneapolis kids, they didn't have that.
Yeah, they didn't have that
weight class. So like that, I was never so afraid in my life. We was playing kids. They was running like a. This is gonna sound crazy, but they was running like a 6'4", and it don't sound fast. You know what I'm saying? It ain't. But like when you're this tall, somebody riding a little bicycle at you. That next year, my little brother played that same year. He was 4, and I had turned 5. We was like turning this. So I was turning 6. He was turning 5, and they wouldn't let him play. He was on the team. He suited up the whole season. They made him practice, do all that work, and didn't let him play a second. They actually, the last game of the season, we got in the championship game, and we played Powderhorn. We got blew out. They put him in the last play, and he scored a touchdown. For whatever reason, it was a kickoff or throw off. You know how they used to make us punt?
Throw the ball, yeah.
He got the ball, like you said, helmet started this way, nobody touched him. Everything was just off his body by the time he got to the end zone. And I don't know if you remember this, but they Limo was knocking at my mother's door the next year because we moved to Frogtown. And they came to our house maybe 3 or 4 times trying to get us to come back. Just because they had saw that little spark. And that very next year, they had played a game, and we talked about it on the Dave podcast. Shout out Coach Dave, but it was a night game, probably like 8 o'clock. And they had a game against Lil Kahari, Kirkland. Game winner, ran it back for a touchdown, like 90 yards. Little Antonio, the little engine that could, and that just goes to show you how much of a eye for competitive nature, for the dog mentality y'all had. Like, y'all saw that in me early. I remember you let me play up. I was in the 3rd grade when I came. You was coaching the 4th grade team.
I demanded to have you on my team. I didn't even want you playing. it was something I always admired about Jimmy Lee, and I couldn't get it going really at Frogtown the way I wanted to. And that was what Jimmy Lee always made everybody play up. You know, when you practice, y'all always did that one weekly scrimmage, you know, against the older kids and stuff. And I think that's, you know, and I ain't gonna say I didn't like what they do. I kind of appreciated what they did, because when you saw the kids play, when they came back to say, when you put your fourth graders against the fifth graders, if you're getting beat up by the fifth grade team, let's say in August and September, you know, you getting beat up by them a little bit because they're a little bit bigger than you. But by mid-September and October, when you're now playing with them now, like you're not scared though. It's all of a sudden like, okay, I'm going to take this beating right now, you know, the first time and stuff. And it's like, man, I don't like this. Why we got to get beat up all the time like this? But it always showed on Saturdays.
What made you do, first off, let me ask this. Who was your best, I know it ain't me, so you ain't got to try to pacify me. It's cool. I seen some of the talent we had. You know? Who was your best athlete that you probably coached ever? And you can go top 2, top 3 if you want, but like hands down, nobody's really touching these kids.
My best athlete, bar none.
Not successful.
No,
just the best athlete.
My best athlete.
Yeah, any age point, period.
Wow. Well, this one, I have to put him in my top 3 because he was one of them kids that was with me when I started, and I watched him grow up, and may God continue to rest his soul, and that was Jared Noble.
Oh my God. I just got chills.
Jared Noble, by far, was one of the best athletes I've had that played for me.
R.I.P. to Noble.
Yeah.
I
you know, much love, Jared. That's to the family, and you know, I know his mom, his dad, his brother Chad, you know, and all of them. So he was always a sensational athlete for me.
Yeah. To segue from that, I lived across the street from Jared. First house I lived in, they was the neighbors directly across the street.
Okay.
And literally like that nigga, I'm not to disrespect nobody, knowing his life story and where he came from, it's just so, it hurts me even more knowing how he ended up.
Yeah.
You know, because he had so much life in him. Like you said, he was like such a great, everything he did, he excelled in. So it's like, R.I.P.
Yeah, so I would throw him, you know, because I can't do just 3, because it's quite a few. I'm not gonna lie,
We gotta limit it.
I gotta keep it to a limit, but I do gotta shout out Jared. Another one of my greatest athletes was definitely Jordan Jet.
Okay, shout out Jet.
You know, definitely phenomenal on both sides of the ball. Very talented. One of the best, and he always was kind of quiet. He kind of walked silently, but he carried a big stick always because he had a pure heart of not wanting to lose. Losing was not in his repertoire, because I seen him from 2nd grade on growing up. When I first started coaching, he was playing.
Yeah.
And that was Joe Conley.
Oh my God.
Joe Conley, by far one of.
Oh my God. Hey, shake my hand. Look. Hold on. Time out. Bro, you giving me the. Hold on, real quick. You just confirmed so much for O'Shari Arnett, for Antonio Washington with the Joe Conley. You just confirmed Philip. Phil. I said Phil. Rico Phillips. There we go. I keep all of these dudes. I keep asking them who was they, like our era, and they all unequivocally,
Joe Conley,
without hesitation.
When I say a coach, he was
NFL.
I don't know how I could say how it came about, but at one point in time, he was like a coach on the field, because I remember he wanted to play quarterback, and I didn't want him to play quarterback. We had this other kid that had a cannon for an arm. Oh my God.
Who?
I can't remember the kid name. He just had a cannon.
You're not talking about.
When Joe was a third grader.
Oh, he was an older guy.
Yeah, he was a fourth grader.
Steve?
No, it wasn't Steve.
Because he was a quarterback.
I think he was an Indian kid.
Tony Siebenaler. Antonio Siebenaler, that's who it was.
Okay.
He played for Frogtown. Come on, alumni. I told he went to Como and they stopped him from playing football.
You know, but that was the year I seen it in Joe right then and there. Because when Joe would correct him at the quarterback, no, you got to do it like this. And I sat back there like, well, I had to look at who his dad was too. You know what I'm saying? So,
I was just about to bring that up. That family dynamic means so much.
You know, so now we get into someone else. I have to say that was
we got to end it with this one, Coach. It's getting out of hand.
Okay. Who was a really great kid, and he's like family to me right now.
Yeah.
He just got back in the States last year. He's been playing football over in in England.
Okay.
But Terrell Jones,
Okay.
another kid, great athlete kid.
Football in England is crazy.
Yeah, he just they just won a championship.
What year
over there?
What year is his high school graduation?
He graduated from St. Agnes. I think his senior year, St. Agnes, he led the state in rushing.
He got to be like 09 or 08 or something like that.
Yeah, because he graduated from Hamlin. He just graduated from Hamlin University 2 years ago, and he went overseas to go play football in England. So he's back now, and he's going back in a couple months to go play. He signed a professional contract to go play football in Europe.
You going back?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh no, he's definitely way after 09.
Yeah,
he's a young guy, and he's under 30 still.
Yeah, he's under 30.
Oh yeah, that's magnificent. So you got a kid that you personally. First off, we not finna go past it. Shout out Jet, because he played professional sports as well.
Yeah.
Overseas. He played on the same league LaMelo Ball played in. Defensive player of the year in that league as well. Tore his ACL or MCL, can't remember what. But I gotta just speak on that. First off, if you didn't know, Jordan Jet was my top. I'll give you that. And second, I gotta give it to Joe Conley just because everybody that's my peers say I didn't think so.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I know Joe personally and I played with him, I seen his flaws, so I could point those out and show. You wanna know who my top like unpredictables is? Like people that people probably wouldn't say is the best, but like at that time frame, nobody was messing with him. I'm gonna give you three. Jabari Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Jabari Bishop was the fastest kid.
Oh my God!
Anytime he wasn't always there, but anytime he touched the ball, it was a house call.
He could take it. It was he was one of them. He was like the Gale Sayers.
And he had a dog.
Gave him an inch. He gave him an inch. He's taking it.
And he had the dog. That's Jabari Bishop. I'm gonna give it to Tony Robinson. These are people that just slept on. Not saying that they was, but they top three in my book. Jabari Bishop, Tony Robinson, and last but not least, I'm gonna give it to Anj. Just because in the time frame that I seen him, and it was only for 2 years.
2 years.
Third grade,
Never
played football before. That was why I was just. He was literally a natural.
And became a stud.
He was a natural.
He became a stud.
He was our age Jabari.
Yeah.
So like
Anj became a star. I think it was the third game. I remember on the third game when it all kind of came together for Anj. And me and Raheem.
Coach Raheem.
Yeah, we was like, dude, help.
He had shake. I liked him.
He had a little shake to him. He wasn't scared no more. He got all the fear out of him. After about a couple times getting smacked after that, he was good to go and stuff, but he was a hard worker. You know what I'm saying? He wanted to be good out there, and he always did his best on the field. And that's one thing I could always say about a lot of the kids that play, because it's some other kids that, trust me, we could talk about a lot of kids. Yeah. I've had some very, very extremely talented.
Coach Dave said Antonio. You never coached Antonio directly, which kind of sucks.
I coached him 1 year. I did have Antonio.
He played up for 6th
year.
grade when I was in 7th and 8th, and you was our coach.
And no, he played down. He played with me for 1 year. I had him for 1 year with me.
Was it his 3rd
but
grade?
it was his 4th grade year. I had him 1 year, his 4th grade year, and he was one of them kids too. Like I said, it was a lot of. You wanted me to just name just 3, but it's so many because I had a kid that I was trying to remember his name. Damn it.
Wasn't Josh Jerome a Como kid, Frogtown kid too?
Yeah, but we didn't get Josh till Josh's 8th grade year.
Oh, okay.
That's when me, Jason moved up. When Jason moved up to 14U, Josh was still there when I came up to 14U.
Okay.
And stuff. I seen what Josh was his following year, as a freshman when he played for me at Como.
Yeah.
And stuff. I really seen all of Josh's true potential then. But he was he was a great kid too. It's a lot. It's a whole lot. I could, even go all the way back and speak on, believe it or not, Angel Robinson. And, when I talked about girls playing in the program, this is a girl who played quarterback, believe it or not.
You know what?
Angel Robinson,
I believe every word.
Angel Robinson was
every word.
Quarterback 1 year, then the next thing you know, she was done playing football. She went on this phenomenal basketball career, became Miss Basketball for the state of Minnesota, went to the University of Marquette.
Won the state championship.
Won the state championship, you know what I'm saying? I mean, heck, I was refereeing one time out in Edina, and they had a picture of her on their wall in the gym. I had to take a picture and send it to John, like, dude.
Like, this having your baby everywhere. Being a part of that type of community, what does that do for your person? Like,
I don't take a lot of accolades in it, anything like that. I just feel that's something that, because my dad did it, and when I say my dad did it, he didn't coach or anything like that, but he gave back. And, my dad was a scoutmaster, and his role was to take, a lot of kids, coming from single family homes, broken families, get them into a scout troop and take us, and I was just there because he was my dad. But I'm watching him and I'm knowing these kids, and as I'm talking to them growing up, and they're telling me their family situations, what I'm saying? Mom's on drugs, they don't know who their dad is, mom's in an abusive relationship, sometimes they was going from home to home, you know what I'm saying? Didn't know where they was going to be, but my dad cared enough about these kids that he would take these kids, and we would go all over Chicago as a kid. We go to the Forest Preserve, we'd go camping. You know what I'm saying? We just go do things every Saturday, and stuff. Go have cookouts. We had cookouts where my dad would just leave us at the park. He'd go run, take off a leave, go to the meat market, come back, a whole bunch of hot dogs and burgers, sit up there and cook. And we were out here playing softball, we playing football, you know what I'm saying? Just having fun as kids. Right. So when I was asked to give back, I just kind of thought of what my dad did. And when I moved to Minnesota, the one thing I used to hate looking at on TV or reading in the newspapers, because I was living right, I guess they still call it Frogtown, and I thought it was like the Como area where I was living at, and I always heard about them picking up prostitutes and Johns and the dope dealers, and it was all around university and stuff. So, when I started coaching, I just wanted to give these kids a safe, sign of a safe place to be. You know what I'm saying? And just give back so somebody is there for them, So I still remember the days when I coached, I would have kids with me all day sometimes.
Yeah. Being such a big part for a community, like, being, I don't know if you know how impactful that is, but like me not having, my mom always able to pick us up and drop us off and stuff like that. Like I said, I used to have some fears. So we lived about 6 blocks away from Sheffield. Mm-hmm. And at nighttime, like you said, there was so much in that neighborhood. I remember in 99, 2000. Right around that time, it was a guy in the Como area that was breaking into people's houses in the back door. And like 2 ladies had ended up getting like hog-tied and robbed, whatever. They didn't get found till their husband or somebody came home and saw them. It was in the newspaper. You probably didn't care because you were a grown man. I was a little kid. 10 years old, walking my little brother home from practice. We don't got no weapons. My mom's still at work. You know what I mean? So we can't call, no cell phones. It was real like tough for me walking back, but what gave me the confidence is that I knew if I ever needed it or if I wanted to, I could always count on you, Raheem. There was plenty times Coach Raheem would drive me home. He got his own kids in the back, wife, everybody sitting at practice, and he's still going to take his time to drop 7 different kids. You had a pickup truck at one point, right?
No, that Bronco. I had a
Bronco.
Yeah.
So Raheem had the pickup.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I remember we loading in the back of somebody's truck, and it's about 7, 8 stops, but we getting some food and we gonna get home.
Well, what really got it for me is it's a lot of times, you know, I hated to see some of the kids walk home and stuff because I cared so much about the kids. You know, some of the other coaches left, same thing. They would go, you know, go live their lives. Some of them go drop kids off as many as they could. But it would still be a whole bunch of kids waiting for their moms to come pick them up.
Yeah.
You know, at Sheffer. And I'm
like hardball movie.
You know, I'm like, I can't even leave. It's a lot of times I wanted to leave, and here it is, my phone is blowing up. You know what I'm saying?
That was what I was getting into. Did that type of stuff mess up any family dynamic because it's so time consuming being that rock for everybody?
A little bit, yes. But would I say would I change what I did or how I did it? I would say I wish some of it could have been done differently, but I wouldn't change none of it at all. And the reason why is you know, as I said, I wanted to make sure that I gave kids a safe place or someone that they could count on that was going to be there. Could I have left maybe 10, 15 kids still roaming around the playground? Yeah, I could have left.
Yeah.
You know, would have been the best thing to do? No, because that would have hurt me even more if I come back the next day and I hear, oh, well, such and such and such this happened to, you know, little Johnny or, you know, someone out there on the playground, you know, and I was gone. I don't know how I could have handled that. You know what I'm saying?
I did want to ask you, so we asked you about your best players that you got. What's the best success story that you know? So I got one that I'm going to share with you right off the bat. My favorite success story from Frogtown, like just like somebody that grew up really rough or really hard, and then like through the perseverance in sports and the stuff they get from it, the type of man they became. I think one of my favorite stories is maybe like John Carr. One of my favorite people to mention, John Carr. Shout out, bro. But
I just seen him about a little over a month ago.
Okay.
Yep, he's working. He's doing construction right now.
Man, shout out to my boy.
Yeah.
Man, he's also one of them guys that got like one of them long. I might need to get him on the podcast. You know, long life stories. But you know, when I just see everything that he's been through and where he's at today and how he's able to stand and hold it, even if he ain't gotten to the point where he see himself the way I see him, he's already accomplished so much in life. I just tip my hat to somebody like that.
Well, he's changed his life around.
That's what I mean.
You know what I'm saying? He's totally changed his life around from what he's been through. You know what I'm saying? Because when he started, another one of them really talented kids.
Yeah.
You know, and it wasn't just on the football field. You know, this kid was probably one of my best center fielders I ever had. Oh my God, this kid could go track a ball. Man, I think if you hit it to the other side of West Minnie, when we were down there in West Minnie, I think he was that fast. He run out and go get that ball.
Yeah.
You know,
he's still that fast.
He's still that fast. You know, so,
yeah, he's still athletic for sure.
I would say one of the best success stories would have to be the last year that I coached, my last team that I coached at Frogtown. We had a big squad. I think we was running about 28 kids. A lot of them had done a couple years with David down there before they came up.
Was that the year he took a year off? Your last year?
No, that wasn't that year.
Okay.
That wasn't that year. When David took a year off, I think that was a year or two after I came back.
Okay.
To Frogtown. And that was just a bunch of injuries. He had a whole bunch of injuries down there at the 14U level, where they just didn't have enough to field the team.
Right.
And stuff. But my last year coaching, a very extremely talented group of young men that moved up. And when I say it was talent from the offensive line all the way to the running backs, all that, oh my God, it was just phenomenal, this group of kids. And we had a bunch of second straight kids, so you know the rule was, first straight kids go out there and they go play, and then you let the second string come in and do the mop-up duty. And my defensive coach at the time was Coach Devontae from right. He's back over there coaching at Frogtown right now with David. And I think it was midway through the season, and this group, I just seen them grow. Where it was some kids, they couldn't tackle a tackling dummy. Okay. And when I say they couldn't tackle a tackling dummy, they run up to the tackling dummy and fall down. The tackling dummy wouldn't even move.
Right.
They fall down, but we
Little
kept,
giants.
but that year of I implemented this Jimmy Lee rule, and we had a scrimmage every year with the 5th grade team. And I would take them down there, and these kids would just go down there and just beat the crap out of them. Our quarterback back then, he ended up being a stud high school player over there at Minneapolis North.
Oh yeah, they won championships over there too.
Yeah, and he didn't even want to play quarterback. He wanted to play running back, but I needed him to play quarterback. I'm like, I need you to play quarterback, and he didn't want to do it, but he said, hey, I'll do it. His dad talked to him, and he went down for it. But midway through the season, watching this second unit grow, and I think it was a game against, I think it was North area, and this team was so talented. Literally, the game was over with in the first half. When I say it was usually 4 or 5 touchdowns scored, there's that running clock going.
Yeah. 4
or 5 touchdowns scored.
They left
in
that clock
first half. In that first half. So their game was over with.
Right.
I would always tell them, y'all can take y'all helmets off, take your shoulder pads off.
Take a little rest, right.
You're done. And they would be like, man, Kobe. No, you're done. Yeah. You're good.
You can't beat up on these people.
You can't beat them
like
up
that.
Like that. You know what I'm saying? It would be 100. Y'all been scored 10 touchdowns on these cats. No, we're done. And Devontae came to me, and he was like, Coach, I think we can just go from the start of the game. Let the second unit play defense the whole game. I was like, you sure? He said, Coach, trust me on this. It's your call. We're gonna do it. And we went out there and played North area. And to see them for that whole entire game give up 1 touchdown for the whole game.
The second team.
The second unit. I was like, that was probably the biggest. If I could have went home and cried, I would have cried over there. Like, man, it was like as much work as we was doing with them, trying to coach them up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But going down there and getting beat up by the 5th grade team every week, made that happen right there. So
how is the parent dynamic right now when it comes to dealing with a child who might be talented, and parents are trying to be aware of their kids, where they at now. Like, they trying to follow them on social media, keep track of you know, potential deals that they could probably get for like sponsorships and this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
How much has that impacted the ability you able to work? Well, you're not coaching anymore, but when you were coaching, how much of an impact did that affect your ability as a coach?
Not much. Now, yeah, there were some parents, that, and everybody, and no matter what sport it is, when you get to basketball, most parents think their kid is the next LeBron James or Michael Jordan.
Right.
So when they got to football, my kid's the next Michael Vick, or Adrian Peterson. It would be some boisterous parents. They wanted this, that, and the other, and a lot of them we just had to explain with them, it's a team concept here. It's not about, the big eyes and the little U's. We don't want, at least from my philosophy, I didn't want one kid to succeed or one kid to be that standout kid. I wanted the team to be a standout. I wanted every, kid on that team to feel that, everything that we do, it ain't, just because one person did it.
We was a part of his success.
Everybody. So, I've always implemented this team concept, and it was together everyone achieves more, because I've always asked my kids, what does team mean? And they were like, well, team, like, we're a team out here. So when I explained it to them, they kind of looked at, I had to say, we're only as strong as our weakest link.
Yeah.
So when we bring that guy that can't do it, when that guy that can't do it does it, then we know we made it. We've made it. And I've had plenty of kids like that. I remember from the early days of me coaching, in tackling drills, we had I remember this one little kid, he never wanted to get in the tackling drill. He would always step back, and I didn't catch it. I didn't even caught it. His mom caught it. And she was watching that shepherd, and no matter what, everybody else is walking up, taking part of that. He just step back, and she coming at, Coach Teddy, he ain't even got up there. What? Boy, come on up here.
This way.
Come on up here, you know what I'm saying? But, after a couple rounds where he couldn't do it, all of a sudden, bam, he can do it. I remember having one kid that played for us. Listen, he was as slow as a turtle. I keep it 100. Justin was as slow as a turtle.
Justin.
That's his name. And actually, I believe his name was Justin Time. His dad still has, and I think maybe Justin has taken it over. I don't know. As a tow truck service.
That's crazy.
And that's the name of the trucking service, Justin
Time.
Oh,
that's crazy.
Justin Time. But he was as slow as a turtle. But I kid you not, when I say that kid would smack the shit out of you, that we learned just put him at safety, let him run downhill.
Yeah.
You're gonna go left or right, wherever that ball go, left or right,
and he was there just in time.
just in time to deliver that lick,
Oh,
and there's been so many other success stories like that. Another kid from my early days, his name was Schultz. Last name was Schultz. You wouldn't believe it, man. This kid was probably about as thin as a rock, played on the line. Wear your ass out on that line.
You remember Seneca?
Mm-hmm.
That was probably like one of the weirdest people in the world for me. Early up, he's still kind of a little different.
Off a little bit.
Yeah, but growing up, I met his mom and his family, and again, like family dynamics mean a lot of how you end up sometimes, in my opinion, based on the community and everything. And y'all had him on a defensive tackle. He about 100 pounds soaking wet. 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, like, and he was a dog. Like,
what we found out was he could. When we found the one thing that he can do good, put him right there.
Yeah, he can sneak past him up real good. Once he got to high school, it wasn't really that good. I remember they put him at, because he was a Como, right? Seneca.
I don't know if I was probably gone from Como.
He played freshman, I think.
No, I didn't have him as a when I did freshman ball. I had Josh. I had Josh in them. I had Josh, Goldberg, Allen Gonzer. Oh my God, that's another one of them success story kids. another one. Oh man, another one success story. Believe it or not, same thing. He was as slow as a turtle, but man, that kid was smacking. Name was Mike Villalobos.
Oh,
my. Actually, right now, his son is playing down there at Frogtown right now.
hey man, Mike. Shout out to my boy Mike. That's still one of my brothers that I talk to periodically. And when they talk about like an Eminem type of guy, somebody that's like born and raised culturally enthused and aware, but he's white. Mike Villalobos.
Yes.
Like if he came out the wrong skin color.
That was my guy.
He gets every pass I can imagine. But like that's my boy, still my boy to this day. And his dad is black. He is black. But you know what I'm saying? He just came out real pale.
Yeah.
But so based on your experience as a coach and you know, as a leader of the community, you would say that coaching left you with like a lot of benefits more than things that beneficial things you take away from, right?
Yes, and the benefits was the relationships.
Facts.
The relationships with all these kids. You know, well, they're not kids no more now. All of y'all young men and young ladies now.
Yeah.
And stuff. And watching and seeing y'all success stories, you know, that brings me such great joy. You know, like Moo Moo. You know what I'm saying? You don't remember Moo Moo.
I know Moo Moo. Raheem.
Moo Moo Crenshaw.
Raheem little people. That's his.
I don't know.
That's his little cousin or little nephew or something like that.
Yeah, you know, to see Moo Moo now went from coaching to now he's running his own football program now.
Stop.
Yes, he has a football program now that he's running.
In Minneapolis?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about when I ran into him. You know, I happened to pull it up one day. I got off work early. I shot up there by, you know, the new Frogtown Rec Center and stuff, and I see Coach Gary out there. And he was like, man, somebody want to talk to you because he's always asking about you. And he called him up on the phone. He said, guess who out here? Guess who out here? And he said, who? He said, Coach Teddy. Coach Teddy, that's you out there? He said, I'm like 5 minutes away. Don't go nowhere, Coach. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm like, man, I was only stopping by to say hi.
Do you see the reaction you get? So the reason why I wanted to do this interview with you, and I know we got long with it, it's about an hour and some change in. And I said 45 minutes. I hope you don't mind.
Listen, it's my off season right now, so it's all good.
Okay. We got so many people in the community that remember you, that like uplift your name. Like, you know, one thing I read about is inertia is like an object in motion staying in motion, right? And object is a term that's used loosely, but it's something in motion staying in motion. So like when a person pass away, I read that their spirit don't die. You know, just the body dies. But the way that the spirit dies is if you don't keep that object alive. You know what I mean? So like you gotta keep doing stuff in that person's name, like memorizing them, doing stuff that they would have did, wearing some of their favorite scents, cooking their favorite foods, putting on a hat like when my stepdad passed away, Lord rest his soul. I started drinking the champagne named after him.
Okay.
It's cheap.
Andre.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cheap, but it was just something that I could do to keep him close. You know what I mean? And for a long period of time, I wouldn't drink nothing but that. So like, that was something I did. Something that I do to keep your name lit and alive. Not saying that you're past, but because my time with you has passed. You know.
Actually, it isn't, because our time will pass when it's all over. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say I value all of those relationships, because it still continues, because no matter who I run across, who I see, it's never a 2-minute conversation. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not interested. You know, I'm interested in, hey, how you doing, this, that, and the other. But I want to know what you up to. You know, how is life treating you? What are you doing? And, you know, if there's a point where something's going wrong, you know what I'm saying, can I give you some advice? Can I be there to help you? What can I do for you? You know, and it's still like, I may not be coaching you on the field no more or on the court, but, you know, I can help coach you in life. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, I've been through a lot of ups and downs in life. You know, everything hasn't been hunky-dory, you know, through my 60 years of life, you know.
How old are you?
I just told you.
60?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, everything hasn't been great, but if, if I could do something to, help you manage, just like I could help you manage how to run a play, how to execute this play, if I can help you manage life, you know what I'm saying? I'm still going to be there. I'm not going to turn my back, on no kid that I've ever coached, or act like, oh, well, that kid doing wrong, I'm going to turn my back on them and act like I don't know them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's that one young man or young lady that needs that help the most right there. You know what
Especially when they lashing out. Has football taken anything from you that you might not be able to get back?
No. I value that time, because like I said, for me to be there for those that needed me there for them,
Gotcha.
That was a blessing right there. Because, like I say, no matter what, that wasn't my kid for just them 2 hours.
Yeah.
Or for some kids, some kids play for me for a couple of years. Some kids play for me for a year. Some kids play for me for a few years.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, like I say, you wasn't just that kid that played for me, and you wasn't that defensive end or that quarterback or that, defensive back, or that lineman. You was my son.
Yeah.
You were my daughter. You know what I'm saying? So, that relationship, as far as I go, is ongoing, because like I say, it ain't been no one that I haven't ran across. You know what I'm saying? At some point in time, and
right.
We'll sit there and chop it up, because they definitely ain't been no, oh, hey, how you doing, and just keep on walking and keep going, nothing like that. No, I've always been interested in making sure that my kids are doing good. You know what I'm saying? And when I hear that they're doing good in life, I just ran across another one of my kids that played for me. Not only at he played for me 1 year at Frogtown, and he left and went someplace else, and then came back to play for me in Arlington when I coached at Arlington and stuff. And he's got a big family now. He's working, he's doing good and stuff. And I'm like, man, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm glad you're doing that. As long as you're taking care of your family, you're doing the right thing. You're working. And you're doing good in life. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about right there. And you being, that positive role model for your children. You know what I'm saying? That's what that's, to me, that's my success story right there.
Yeah.
If, someone that's came through me or spent time with me and they're doing good in life, that makes me feel good. You know what I'm saying?
Did you ever have aspires of going further with your coaching career?
Oh man, if I would have, I can't say this on this podcast, but somebody gave me an idea one time when I first started coaching, and that I should have went back to school. And a lot of times now, especially now that I've been done coaching.
You gotta go to school to coach?
No, I could have went to school to coach. Yeah, I could have went to.
There's a school for. There's like a class in college or a major for coaching.
You hear when they talking in college football, when they talking about they started off as a grad assistant.
It's like okay.
And grad assistants.
So it's almost like an apprenticeship.
Yep.
But it is some type of schooling and certification.
I forgot. I want to say kinesiology, if I'm right. I think that's what. I'm not for sure. Do not quote me on that. I'm not for sure, but you can go to. Could have went to the University of Minnesota and took some classes, and ended up being a graduate assistant. Wouldn't get paid. I don't think the graduate assistants get paid or anything, like that. At least not nothing significantly, But at that time, when it was presented to me, and I look at it now, and as I see college football now, I never really wanted to go to the pros. I like looking at pro football, but I've always been a college football fanatic.
Yeah.
And I see some of these goofball coaches, I gotta just call it straight out, that get some of these jobs, man, and they don't know how to recruit kids and don't know how to coach. And I keep saying, like, man, I wish I'd have listened to that person, man, and went on to school and was taking them classes, and I could be a D2, D3, D1 head coach out here,
How do you think your kids, your personal children that you birthed and raised, how you think they might look back and tell people about you from here on out, like knowing how much time and dedication you had to put in towards your job and career, and I'm not sure how that affects a family, but how do you think your kids might respond or look at you at this point? You think it leave a sour taste, or
It might be somewhat of a sour taste, and I would say it was more to the fact of I felt it was my duty somewhat to be there for everybody else.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Because I looked at it, my kids didn't have that void in their life as some of the other kids. Because my kids at that time, it was a 2-parent home.
yeah,
Me and my ex-wife, we was together. Kids was all there. We was all together and stuff. Now maybe it might be a wish could have spent more time like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's probably one of the things that they would say. Hey, we can say this. He did care about these other kids to give them what we had at home. You know what I'm saying? Because that's just being that that father figure in their life. You know what I'm saying? And showing love to some kids that just didn't have that type of love that they needed. And not just me, all the other coaches too, that was there, with me throughout all my years. A lot of us, took in and somewhat adopted some of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the only one, who had, multiple kids, that wasn't, birthright ours, that would be around them. You know what I'm saying? Jason, Coach Jason did, Dave did, I know Johnny did, I'm quite sure some of the other coaches, what I'm saying? Cause I always respected it that, even some of the other coaches, when kids had to get rides home, what I'm saying? Or get rides, to this field or to the game and stuff,
some of the best players didn't have a ride.
Right. Yeah. That's why we always met up at Sheffer about an hour early. You know what I'm saying? To get that ride, to go to Conway. You know what I'm saying? And stuff to ride out there, and it was such a, I guess a downer when I happened to have been working over there by Conway for the past couple of years, and I think when I first drove past it. And I'm like, wait a minute, what the hell did happen at a soccer field? No, what? They done just ripped the whole thing up. It's all soccer right now, but I could sit there and then just sit back and remember, man, it was so fun being out here on a Saturday morning, at Conway, watching a whole bunch of little kids, run around from different programs, that probably didn't know a damn thing about football when they first started out, and you just see them week by week just starting to grow, and get better and better and better. And some of them, might not have had a big smile on their face, when the season started, and even had tears in their eyes, some days and stuff. But, in the end, when you can sit up there and say, yo, Mr. Scott, man, now you just stepped up and just see that big old smile come on his face. That was heartwarming.
Is there anything about you, the man, myth, legend, that people may not understand on a personal level, again, family-wise? I know you were married for
over 20 years.
A long time.
Yeah, long time.
That you might want to express to them on your behalf based on how things might have played out, good or bad. I always say that everybody got a part of us that we don't show to anybody, and part of my revelation
all right.
is getting that out.
Okay.
It's just showing all of our faces.
Yeah. I guess I will address a possible rumor that is probably out here. Some people had always asked me some years ago, why did I step away my first time? It was not to my doing. It was somewhat mutually agreed upon, but it isn't what I wanted to do. There was nothing wrong, but things were going differently at the time. And to keep confusion down, and I'm not a messy person, you know, I don't believe in that. I wasn't going to be the source of any mess. So if anybody wants to know the real deal on what happened and how it went down, just come holler at me. You need my number, you can reach out to me, 612-323-8990. That's any of my kids that wanted to know, because I know some kids and even some parents that I've ran across was very disappointed that I wasn't there for their kids when they wanted me to be there for their kids. I know some kids that, you know, didn't like that, you know, that little 2-year era where I wasn't around the program anymore. They would see me, but I wasn't in the program.
That changed people's lives, man.
You know, it did. I knew of some kids that didn't want to play, you know, because I wasn't there, and they was looking forward to playing for me and with me,
Right.
you know. So I will explain that. I just don't want to explain it on this podcast, because I'm going to be respectful to, you know, everybody, because I have no discord with no one. I don't even have any discord for how it went down and stuff like that. And then for my retirement, yes, I have been retired. I have been done coaching now. I did try to do a couple stints to be back out there. And it's very difficult. It wasn't a very easy decision for me to make, to walk away, because I enjoy, that was my zen, to being out there with the kids. That was my zen right there.
What team you going for in the Super Bowl?
Super Bowl, well, you know, until you defeat the king, you gotta ride with the king.
You gotta knock them off.
You know, you gotta knock them off.
Okay.
My family lives in Buffalo, New York, though.
What?
So, but I'm told I gotta be a Bills fan for this playoff run right here, that maybe Josh Allen's gonna lead us to the promised land. We shall see. But if I had a real favorite right now, I really like Philly. I think for what Jalen Hurts has been through from college to the pros, and to kind of ride up to the mountain and get down in the valley, to creep back out that valley now. I'm riding with him, but
even
that
Saquon.
kid, but yeah, even with Saquon too, you know, with the little injury thing that he had to do and getting the trade, and then, you know, everybody want to talk bad about him because he left, you know, this, that, and the other. Who gives a damn? He out there whooping ass, you know. But that kid in Washington, that young man is the truth.
Right.
I say right now, that kid is the truth. As long as he don't get hurt. As long as he don't get hurt, you know. But it was very hard to retire from coaching. It was, like I say, it was my zen. Once I started with it, I fell in love with it, and I just hated not being there for the young men and even young ladies that was there. What I do now for a living, it just requires a lot of my time. It pays me damn good money. I can't lie about it, you know, and it's very demanding. I'm not doing a ordinary job, you know, pretty much.
Is that all you do in your time now as adulthood? Do you own like any personal businesses?
No, in my spare time for my now zen, my new zen now is I am still teaching. So I'm not teaching on the football field. I teach on the dance floor right now.
Okay.
And I do something called Chicago style stepping. I do 2 classes a week. I do a class in St. Paul at Jimmy Lee. You know what? I'm gonna say the sin that Jimmy Lee was the enemy way back then, so I'm just gonna call it what Oxford.
What time of day is that class at? How much to enroll if anybody interested?
I do it every Tuesday night. It's upstairs in the dance room. It's from 7 o'clock till close. and it's only a mere $5. I ain't trying to get rich off of teaching this dance
I might
class.
go with my girl because we about to get married soon, and we don't know how to step.
Okay, well,
she from Detroit, I'm from Chicago.
Actually, my nephew, I got to get ready for him because he's getting married in May. So him and his fiance, they're getting ready to start taking private.
Stop playing.
So they want to step, same thing. They want to step for their wedding. So I'm getting ready to do that. And then I do another class on Wednesday nights over in Columbia Heights at El Tequila Mexican Bar Grill from 7 to 9, but it really never ends at 9 o'clock. I have some very hungry students that like to stick around. No, I don't mean with the food part.
No, I got you.
They want the dance. They
like to stick around and
stick around and keep work on it. Yeah, they like this. You know, they like what I'm giving them. You know what I'm saying? That's helping their dance get better. So they come and they want to stick around a little bit longer. And I'm glad, you know, they take that challenge to do that. And the same thing, it's nothing but a mere $5. The only thing is at El Tequila, it is a bar and grill, so they got damn good food there. The waitress will definitely come serve you, but the bartender will make them drinks top notch. I mean, it's anything from margaritas to whatever other drink you're drinking in there, they got it in there. You know what I'm saying? So this class is open, both classes is open to men, women, couples, especially beginners. I don't care if you don't know how to step or you're trying to learn how to step. One thing I can guarantee you, you come to my class, you will definitely be dancing in 2 classes. That's guaranteed. Depending, that all depends on you, because I got some brand new students that came in and they're dancing on the first class, so it all depends on you and stuff. It's called Chicago style because that's where the dance originated at. It originated on the streets of Chicago, and they have ownership. You know, we have ownership of that.
Right.
You know, so it doesn't matter where you are, anything like that. You just take the dance and make it your style. So then it ain't gonna be Chicago style stepping. That's gonna be Cordero style.
Right.
You know, because the way I dance out there now,
It's
that's my style. You know what I'm saying? So that's really all it. You know, that's just
the name is just the name.
It's
just
just
a
the
brand.
name. Just
a
the brand.
Yeah. Okay. This has been a dope interview. If anything, I feel like we got a lot of insight on one of my childhood heroes, somebody that like gave me a battery in my back. From boy to a man, I can look back and say that my first time being excited about anything outside of what my mom provided was football. The first thing that popped in my head was like when we played in a 5th grade championship, and I think it was maybe you or Tom. Maybe you were there with Tom. I can't remember. But played in the championship against Hardin area, and I think I scored like 3 times. They didn't have a touchdown though, and I swear to God, I made every tackle on the field. And that game, O'Shari was just like, bro, you probably the best defensive player I ever played with. And then I remember like going in the 7th and 8th grade year, y'all never really singled me out. But I remember the best part about our team was the defense. And it just stood out to me because I remember like the people that put me in a position to be aware of anything and even have these type of skill sets and talents. You know, initially it was my parents, you know, but they didn't know sports, my mom, my dad. But it was y'all and you, first person I ever played and suited up for outside that I actually cared about, respected, and wanted to be excellent for. You know, and I gotta, you know, tip my hat to that. So been a dope interview. Pleasure to spend these couple hours with you. I owe you some lunch and a drink, you know, whenever you got some time. We can go right now. You know?
Anytime. So this is my off season. I'm gonna go back to work tomorrow.
Pleasure, man. It's the university. We out.
Some niggas that still like us, so I gotta keep them fed. And I got 2 cousins in the county fighting for a bed. How that's your partner and you say soon as you see him, he a man down. These niggas ain't 100, but they ride you with your pants down. Catch a case from one of my dogs, I knew they gon' hold me down. I told my mama and all my dogs and them.
I always knew that I would make it, see it in my dreams. I wanna hit the mall and buy my mama everything. I take it day to day, cause shit ain't really what it seems. I gotta make away my